And one of the reasons that I chose geography, apart from an overlap with the GS, be it the paper one or the paper three also, the other set of challenges are those related to the mental or the physical focus on one side, either the GS or the op. I used to spend like say 30 to 40% of my time on my optional.
Welcome friends. So here we are with the topper of this year, CSE 2022, rank 30 Preksha Agarwal, and she has done tremendous in this exam this year. And first of all, let us talk to her. Congratulations, Preksha.
Thank you so much, sir.
So rank 30, dreams do come true. So this was your fourth attempt, I think.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So how was your journey overall?
So my journey began in the year 2018 when I came to Delhi to prepare for this examination. I stayed here for 1 year, and I took some classes for my GS and my geography and my essays also. After that, because of the COVID wave, I had to stay in my home, and I was preparing continuously. In my third attempt, I scored the rank of 303,
Yes.
and I got into the IDA services, the Defense Account Services. I again gave the exam this year, and now I've scored rank 30, and probably I'll be coming into the IAS.
Yes. So finally, how do you feel?
I'm feeling satisfied, and there is a sense of completion of this journey now.
Yes, that is the most important thing. In fact, I always tell the students that what you have to do is the sense of this completion is very much important. Results can vary, but you should have that kind of satisfaction that you did whatever you could, and that is very much important. So, tell me, Preksha, what were the problems that you faced during this preparation? Because UPSC preparation, we know it is a kind of long journey, and there are very select few lucky who get through in their first attempt. But even for them, it is like more than 1.5 years.
So the challenges can be actually grouped under two heads, I would say. One are the basic academic challenges which pertain to the examination whole and the pattern of this and the curriculum of this examination, and the other are the other set of challenges which are related to our mental health or our physical health. The first set of challenges, they are I think common across all the sections of the aspirants, because they are related to that the paper is getting tough each year and it is very random now, and also the syllabus completion is again a challenge. There is a huge diversity of the subjects which one needs to study, and one may feel overwhelmed. The other set of challenges are those related to the mental or the physical health or someone's financial condition, and those are quite different for all of us. So when we say we are in the same boat, we would say that considering the first set of challenges, we are together, but the second set of challenges are completely different for each one of us.
Yes, yes, definitely. In fact, you might have seen the paper of this year prelims. So it was quite random. It was quite difficult. In fact,
Yes,
so many students I have met who come from very humble background, and they found it very challenging, particularly the CSAT paper,
yes,
the paper 2. So it was quite tougher, and you cannot compare someone who has a very good schooling, a kind of very good schooling, and someone who has come from a very humble
yes,
kind of background. So there will always be difference in that. So I met one of the students who ultimately is scoring 105 in paper 1, but is doubtful for paper 2. So can you imagine, this is the kind of difference that is there. So let's move on and talk about your geography marks. You were from geography optional.
yes.
So you have scored very, very good marks in geography. Your score is
279.
279 marks you have got. And particularly you have scored very well in paper 1, 143, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yes, 143. So what was your strategy in general?
So in general, my focus was firstly to complete the basic tenets of the syllabus. So all the units of the papers, of both the papers. My first aim was to get a hang of that complete syllabus and then prepare notes, which I call synopsis for. And in that notes, I had compiled all of my class notes in a very crisp and a concise manner. So that helped me a lot eventually because I didn't have to return to my notes again and again. I used to just see my synopsis, and then I would get a hang as to how to relate all the contents of the syllabus together. For example, we are seeing that continuously the questions are becoming integrated. We are being asked a Indian monsoons question in the paper one,
Yes.
and paper two we are being asked questions related to much of the GS based facts.
Yes.
So for the paper one, I would say that the questions like oceanography are being related to the environmental geography, like the questions on the plastic pollution.
Yes.
So in that respect, you should be able to study in an integrated manner. Don't keep the syllabus in silos. Just have all the notes prepared, and whenever you are say attempting an answer or anything, keep all the notes in front of you, and then try to make your answer as diverse as possible.
Okay. So, what you said, I believe, is very correct. In fact, a very interesting thing you talked about here was about the notes. So, what happens, Preksha? So many times students are coming to me and they will show their notes. What I see is that those are not notes. They are just copy of what was their original source from which they were studying. So this is something which students are unable to understand how the notes actually should look, how the notes actually should be made. And in fact, I'll request you to share some of the samples of your that synopsis which you did, because that will be helping out the students tremendously. They should know, because ultimately what is happening, they're just copying. So I always tell my students that what you have to basically do is you have to at least revise multiple times, and then ultimately what you do, you go for making the notes. Then only you'll be able to make that crisp notes, which will be very useful late in the later part of the examination.
What I believe that this is not a one-step process.
Yes, yes.
When we are making notes for the first time, if it's a 50-page chapter, we would end up making a note which is of 10 pages. In the other round of cycle, when we are going for another iteration, we would reduce it to say 7 pages, and then to 5 pages, and then to say two or one, and then to even to half a page of notes. So, I mean, there is no shortcut to the hard work. I have been doing the hard work since 5 years, so I know it for sure. Many people do it in the first attempt. I'm not that capable because I can't recommend to you how to do that. But yes, I have spent a lot of time in making my notes shorter and crispier, and it has taken a lot of hard work. So yes, I would say that nobody can do it in the first go. Try it 3 or 4 times.
Yes. In fact, I suggest that what should be done when you're reading from the source, you write the keywords there only. And what you do, the idea should be that when you're doing the revision, you look into those keywords and you try to recall the entire paragraph through that keyword. First time you'll forget, but the paragraph is there only, so you can again read. So once you have done this multiple times, what happens? Now once you see the keyword, you'll be able to remember the entire paragraph. That is the time when you should jot down the keywords on some other pages or copies, and this is the best way to prepare those kind of crisp notes.
And in addition to this technique, there is also a thing that geography, the language of it is maps. And we often leave that. So when we are making notes, make sure that you represent the entire paragraph through some kind of maps or some diagrams so that it becomes easier to remember also. And then when you remember it through a picture, you can reproduce it exactly in the examination. So when I used to study, I had the small maps prepared of my of maximum notes, and it can be very easily done for the paper too. And even for the paper one, where we have, say, questions like on the word trade patterns or the desertification and degradation, there we can easily have the maps. And maps will actually help to reduce the length of your notes also. And you can also remember them exactly in your examination.
Yes, yes. In fact, we always talk about that geography is a spatial science.
Yes.
So map has a very, very crucial role.
Yes.
In fact, it says that graphy is basically description. So maps and diagrams are very good way, very important models to describe them. No doubt about this. So this is what I also wanted to ask. Since you have scored well, so what was your basic strategy when it comes to the presentation? So one is definitely related with the maps. Hmm. What else did you do?
I would say that I actually made a wide use of the case studies.
Okay.
And the case studies, I had a bank of them prepared with me, let's say, or 50 of them. And I used them across both the papers. In GS2, I had, in the paper 2, I had many opportunities to do so. And in paper 1 also, I tried to keep them as many as possible. So say when you have a case study, then you can actually use it in a variety of ways. There was a case study, say, related to to say Aravallis, in the desert, the degradation of the Aravallis, and you can easily use them across topics. For example, in the chapters on the resources, or say in the land degradation, desertification, and even in the cultural aspect, because the tribal communities of the Aravallis are being affected because of it.
Because of
So, and in the contemporary geography also, some of it can be used in the population geography also. I mean, you should be able to relate the things together.
yes.
So I did it that way. And I mean, I was very confident in the human geography part that nobody can write an answer better than me. So that confidence came because I had this, that I can relate the topics very well, and I can have as many dimensions as possible in my answers. So that was one of the things which I tried.
Okay. So was there anything specific which you did for paper one different from paper two? Was there difference in strategy?
Uh, yes, in the paper one, I actually took test series with you. In the paper one, especially the test series was very helpful because I got to understand many of the names of the geographers and the concepts, and I made sure that I spent time to actually learn all of them so that I can use them in the examination, and I don't have to think about it at that point of time. Because topics like climatology or the oceanography or geomorphology, uh, if you don't know the cycles of erosion, say Gilbert or say Hack, uh, it doesn't seem to appear that you are a student of geography. It only appears that you are just a GS student who is trying to write some bit. So I would say that you have to spend time on it. You learn the name of the geographers, and learn the basic concepts, make diagrams for it, and spend time on that paper.
I always say my strategy, I always tell my students, if you have got good content, for paper one, it is, our syllabus also says, it is principles of geography. So mostly it is basically what it is theory of geography. And in theory, what you have to do essentially is you cannot differ from what is the standard theory. That means that is what you have to write. So in paper one, the best strategy is that you memorize at max what you can. Paper two is not just memorization. There also memorization is needed. It goes beyond memorization. So in paper two, you have to practice a lot, because paper one, we can predict the questions. In paper two, it is actually difficult. The way they are asking questions these days, it is very difficult to predict questions in paper two. So there you have to develop the ability where you are able to instantly think and frame the answer and write the answer. So practice is very important for essentially for paper two. So anything else you'd like to add for geography optional preparation, Preksha?
Geography option, I would only say that people are getting afraid of it, and I am seeing it because yes, the geography, if you see it by the terms of in terms of the marks scored or the ranks among the toppers, as we say, yes, geography is disappointing many people, but still, I love the subject because it is very vast, and the knowledge which I gain, I know that I would be using it in my profession in the future. So when you are choosing an optional, you shouldn't choose it just for clearing this exam. Okay, that should be an aim of it, but the larger picture, you have to actually serve the country, if I would say. And geography is one subject where you can contribute in a huge way. See, be it agriculture or population geography, economic geography, mineral resources, geopolitics. So, choose the option wisely and don't go only by the recent trends, as I would say. See the larger picture. You are going to become an IAS or an ISS or an IPS officer. If you don't know about your country, um, it's not it doesn't going to help you in the
In,
long run.
in fact, I'll give you a very interesting fact here. What has happened if we look into the annual report of UPSC among the success rate of the optionals? In 2021, the report, the geography optional success rate was 5.6%. And in that, maximum number of students were appearing in the mains from geography, more than 1900 students. Others, if you talk about like sociology, anthropology, pol science, all of these had a success rate of above 10% or around 10% it was. Next year, what has happened? Number of students in geography has drastically come down. So now it is, I think, third or fourth in terms of the total number of students who have appeared. In fact, it is fourth now. The success rate has climbed up. Now it is 7.2%. And the other optionals where the numbers have actually increased, their success rate percentage wise has come down. So it is actually also related with the popularity of the options. Many times what happens, students just go for the optional just because it is very successful. And they don't actually look into what is their aptitude, what it suited, what their aptitude is suited for which option. I meet so many students and some of them are asking me this question, should I change optional because I'm not scoring? So I always tell them, look at the aptitude, because if you're not scoring, this means either you don't have the aptitude or in the preparation you're doing something wrong. So there are many students who will face problems with making diagrams, etc. So for them, geography is not a kind of ideal optional. But many of them, particularly those coming from the science background, geography is a very natural optional for them. So I also believe you should not go for rumors and check your personality. And the best way is go through the NCRTs of all these optionals. You'll find sociology NCRTs are also there. All NCRTs you can just go through and look where you feel more interested, and that will be I feel like give you a key which option to essentially choose. So Preksha, in fact, I would like to ask, did geography also help you in GS?
A lot. A lot, I would say. And one of the reasons that I chose geography, apart from my natural inclination, was that it had a huge overlap with the GS, be it the paper one or the paper three also. And you can always apply the concepts of it in, say, IR part of the GS2. Uh, Geography helps in the economy part because the agricultural aspects, I never studied separately for the agriculture part of the GS3. My geography notes were always sufficient for it. Only some of the other economic concepts like say the MSP or the subsidies part that I studied, but geography has a huge overlap with almost all the GS papers. And even in the essay, you can use it because geography, since you have now studied in multiple disciplines related to it, so you can apply every bit of it in the essay part.
Yes, there are so many examples which come from geography. In fact, I was talking about the optional part, choice of the options. This rumor, I forgot to tell you one thing. This year, in fact, I have met two of my students. One has scored 292 marks and another has scored 300 marks in the optional, but they are not through. and there are two other students who have scored 297 and 298. Their rank is not so much high. So it is not about the optionals, you are getting marks. Very important thing which is becoming right now, which I'm seeing important, is the balance. How you are maintaining the balance. And in this case, I have to appreciate Preksha. She has been able to maintain a tremendous balance because it is very much reflected in the scores she has got. So, Preksha, how you were able to do it?
I would say that the basic thing is related to the time management with respect to all of these papers, because for the means you need to study for 9 papers, do are only of the qualifying nature. But still you have to study for 9 papers, and there is only a 3 and a half months time interval between the prelims and the mains. So what I did that for the static portion, like in the GS and the geography, I had my notes prepared before the prelims itself in my first year of my preparation. And for the dynamic aspects like the current affairs and all that, I did in that time interval of the 3 months. What usually people do is that they focus on one side, either the GS or the optional.
Yes.
I never did it that way. For me, it was I used to spend like say 30 to 40% of my time on my optional, and 50 to 60% or even 70% of my time on the GS. Um, in the beginning, just before the prelims, I made sure that I complete the geography portion, say within a span of 1.5 or say 2 months. And from the month of August till September end, then my whole of the time would be spent on my GS part. Because for geography, you are getting a time again of 5 days. And if you have your notes well prepared, then 5 days can be used to the optimum. If you haven't prepared the notes well, then it would be a problem. But yes, the balance has to be created, and it all depends upon you. Some days you feel that geography, that your option is being compromised by the GS, so you can easily skip onto that. You can switch on towards say 40% of your time for your GS and then 60% of your time for the option. But that balance comes from your own understanding of your strengths and your weaknesses.
Mm.
So there is no one hard and fast rule. You have to see it for yourself that how do you manage it.
One doubt that the students have is regarding the daily schedule. So, what should be included as a part of the daily schedule? What was your strategy?
Uh, Even the daily schedule, I would say that it depends a lot upon the students themselves, and there is again no one size fits all. For me, in the initial days of my preparation, my focus was on completing the NCRT and the basic reference books,
Okay.
like Savindra, etc. But later on, my focus was on developing the analytical skill at how to relate the topics of the syllabus together. And my focus also shifted more towards the current affairs part, because I had to gather new case studies or the new examples to use in my GS papers and my geography papers. I gathered more data, and I spent time on remembering all of the things. I am a kind of a good reader, so I actually like books a lot. So I also used to see the magazines like Down to Words or Yojana and even Geography and You. But if you don't want, then you can skip it because plenty of notes are available regarding that. But it's your wish. So I would say that my daily schedule, it had a balance between the current affairs part, the newspapers, the GS part, and the option part.
Yes, I also believe that this is a kind of ideal thing that you have to do. Best way is you divide your day into three parts, where you are also studying your optional, a core GS, and current affairs. Because ultimately, what happens is you have to start maintaining this balance from the beginning. There is a law, in fact, in management we used to study that is referred to as Parkinson's law. And Parkinson's law says that if you have, suppose, one work and you have 12 hours to complete it, you will be able to do that. But if you have one work and you have 24 hours to complete it, then also you'll be taking entire 24 hours to
Yes.
complete that one.
Yes, definitely.
So if you plan it in a way that you force yourself to complete all the three
Yes.
things in a day, in fact, I'll say not three, four, in fact, because a part of the day should be dedicated for revision. Because what happened, Preksha, last year we did one exercise by the name of UPSC diagnosis. We are still continuing that. And till now, I have been able to sit with more than 1000 students. Can you imagine that there is a form we make the students to fill? So very detailed form, how you are preparing, what you are doing and everything. We got very, very surprising insights from that. And one of the very surprising insights was that here we found that students, none of them are revising. And they don't have any revision schedule also. Out of the 1000+ students I'm talking about, can you imagine what percentage of students wrote that they did not had any revision plan?
95%.
99%. And that tells you where the problem lies.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, this is the percentage of the people who are actually qualifying the examination.
Yes.
I feel that there is this concept creeping up among the aspirants that we can have all the ready-made notes prepared from the market, and then we can just simply buy them and just keep them in their homes.
Keep them.
They're not even making an effort to try to learn.
Yes.
Means making your own notes is one thing, and then trying not to learn them is another. They feel that simply buying notes or just making notes is enough, but this is not the case. You have to keep, if not daily, at least keep it in like you study for 3 days and then keep a day for the revision of it. And revision should never be done by just looking at your notes and just seeing them. I mean, it should be very active process. You should take down a pen and you should scribble some things. Um, since I'm a BTech student, so I had this habit of like scribbling down all the numericals and the rough work. So, but so it came naturally to me. But you have to make an effort for it. If you just keep the notes in front of you, you would be getting bored within say half an hour.
Yes.
You should take down a pen, make some diagrams for it, some maps for it, some data. You should be writing it, every bit of it down. This is a way you actually learn the things. And there is no shortcut to hard work. This concept, I don't know how to get the people out of it, that you don't have to do anything and you can just simply crack this examination on. This can never happen.
I remember on YouTube, I was just surfing through, and one video I found, 3 shortcuts to lose weight.
Okay.
So naturally, you can look at me, and I was very much interested. So as soon as I clicked, the person who was speaking about, first thing he told, there is no shortcut to lose weight.
Exactly.
And then he talked about what were the 3 important things that you have to do to lose weight. And all those 3 things, they are not easy.
Yes.
Like, for example, the most important is dieting.
Yes.
You have to exercise and you have to be regular
Yes.
in all of these
Yes.
things. So same thing here also. There is no shortcut in UPSC.
Yes.
You have to prepare the content. You have to revise the content. And very, very importantly, you have to be consistent and disciplined.
Yes.
I keep consistency and discipline as the most important priority.
Yes, exactly.
Others, like I meet several students, they ask me, do I have the IQ, etc. I always say there is IQ kuch nahi hota hai.
It doesn't matter. Even I had a 8.6 CGPA in my college, so I wasn't among the toppers or the gold medalists. I was just I would say above average person, but I had this in me that I have to work hard for whatever I'm trying. And this, I had it very clear in my mind that I can't get this in just it's like a fruit hanging from a tree and I go and I start it. This can never happen. I have to work hard for it. So this kind of mindset has to be developed, and it takes time to be disciplined.
So Preksha, what's your future plans now?
I have to undergo the training within a couple of months. It would be a 2-year training, and I have no idea about it. So let's
So before that, you must have planned something.
no, not yet, because I'm not getting the time actually for myself. But yes, I like to read books, so I would be doing that, because I don't know whether I'll be getting that time in my services or not to read the books.
Okay, Preksha, good luck for the future, and definitely you will make us proud, even like you have done here, even in the services. I'm very sure of it.
Thank you, sir.